Now, the Red Rocker Sammy Hagar here, and with another episode of Rock and Roll Road Trip. Now, right now, I am in the heart of Los Angeles, California. You can see it right here. I am inviting you to join me at the 2017 Loudwire Music Awards. We're going to talk to my good friend Rob Halford from Judas Priest. We're going to walk the black carpet. Then a little bit later, we're heading over to the Avalon Hollywood for a night that's really going to rock. We're going to support Adopt the Arts. We'll meet up with Matt Sorum and join the Kings of Chaos and get a little loud. And I got backstage access, so guess what? That means we have backstage access, so let's go watch these guys rock the house. Woo! Oh, great, man. Good seeing you. Hello, folks. The black carpet is always a blast because you get to meet new people and catch up with old friends who are all going to be part of this great night. And as always, you got to feed the media beast.
We just played a festival together, and Zach...
Oh, Sammy Hagar's in the house! Happy birthday!
I want to get
Sammy Hagar here at the Loudwire Music Awards. Sammy.
I didn't want you to get away with that.
Have a great time tonight. Thank you for bringing the fun vibes and supporting the metal and the rock tonight. Thank you.
Honored to be here. Of course, man. Thank you.
This night was truly a rockin' night in every sense of the word. You had music, metal, and a little mayhem to go with it.
Here to present the all-important humanitarian award, Chad Smith! Let me tell you, Sammy Hagar, he has achieved, he's been to the mountain. And what he does know is that when you're so fortunate to be able to achieve these things, you give back. And Sammy Hagar gives back to the community and the United States and everywhere else like nobody I've ever seen. And without any further ado, the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar!
The icing on the cake for me was being honored. It was truly a humbling experience. There's a lot of rock stars here tonight, and a lot of, peers and people that are rich and famous. And my whole life, I just wanted to be rich and famous, born poor. But once you get there, sometimes you go, wow, that's not what I thought it would be. I'm still kind of pissed off all the time, and I'm miserable, and I'm not having as good a time as I thought I was supposed to have, being rich and famous and all that shit. So, try giving some of it back. And it worked for me. It really does. Thank you for this award. God bless you, people. Hey, Sammy Hagar here with another Rock and Roll Road Trip. Today we've got legendary metal man, a guy I've looked up to, Rob Halford, for a long time. He's got one of the best screams in the business. Rob.
Thank you, Sammy. Coming from a fellow screamer, that's a real cool thing to hear, so
yeah,
thank you.
Speaking of screamers, as singers, do you call yourself a singer, or are you more like a screamer? Are you offended if someone calls you a screamer?
No, I mean, it's rock and roll. When you take all the labels away, we're rock and roll, man.
Yeah. It doesn't offend me either, because it's part of, like I say, it's part of the deal. Trying to just get it out there, you sometimes just got to scream. So this lead singers, like we're lead singers. Like we've been accused of having lead singers disease and all this stuff. Do you think you have lead singers disease, Rob? Do you have?
I don't know. What is that, Sammy? What is the lead singer's disease?
Well, that's what I wonder what the symptoms are, because I felt like I was coming down with it a couple of times. But it's usually to me, I'm guitar player's fault, and it's not mine,
Well, here's something. In-ear monitors for rock and roll singers. Do you use the in-ear monitors?
I do not.
See?
I can't.
I don't know how you do it. I listen to the whole band, and I can hear everything. I can hear the cymbals. I can hear the bass. These are amazing. So for me, for what I do as a singer, it really is a lifesaver. I was singing harder to hear myself over the rest of the guys.
I'm hearing this again and again, again and again.
That was a good place.
It is hard on your voice, but
yeah.
Like I said, unless I get sick, I'm okay, and I just want to make sure that I just got some tricks or something that's up your sleeve, Rob. That you're not.
No, but what I did mention again before we went on air,
teach me something here now. We're not doing this for nothing.
You've got your tequila, right? I need to get myself my chewing gum, my menthol eucalyptus chewing gum, and I'm also, when I go off to do a costume change or whatever, I'm sipping really, really hot lemon and honey with a little bit of ginger mixed in.
See, Rob, you're
and
a
that just
pro.
kind of strips
Look at
all that stuff off you.
You're a damn pro. Look at you, man. Maybe I should have quit drinking in 1986, but I've never.
When I look at and again, we don't like to look at ourselves on camera, do we? But if I look at myself on old pre-stuff from my drinking and drugging days, I know when I go off stage, I'm doing a line between songs. I'm like, what the hell was I doing?
See, I never did all that.
See, no,
I'll do a line, but not when I'm singing.
Yeah, I was on that big black downward spiral, and I was doing that to get through a show, and it kind of fills me with a little bit of regret and remorse. My performance, as I hear it, wasn't that greatly affected, but mentally, I'm so happy to have left that place behind now.
I used to like you when you. I know the stage. That era of you, when I see you in that era, you really were edgy. I mean, you could have been a punk. Like, of all the metal guys, you almost could have fallen into the punk. You had so much attitude, and I never noticed you ever being out of it in the old days. But you seem like you're so consistent in from drinking, not drinking.
Well, it's a miracle. It's a
changing
miracle
bands,
because,
changing members, getting in and out, going solo.
I know, it's just a miracle. And from that moment 30-odd years ago when I quit all that stuff, my first ever clean and sober show was at the Tingley Coliseum in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in 1986, I think it was.
Damn, you got a memory.
Yeah,
there,
and I walked on stage that night and I was terrified because I hadn't been on stage with a drink for all those years as a performer, and I was terrified. But as soon as I started to perform, I felt something that I was never feeling before because I had nothing kind of getting in the way, chemically or whatever. It was just the great joy and feeling of the human voice and how it makes you feel. You know, when you sing in the shower and you feel great, I suddenly got in touch with this thing in my body that in my mind, my spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I literally, Sammy, I was literally floating on air. It was so euphoric. And I thought, man, I've been missing this for all of my life as a singer, as a performer. And I'm so blessed to have it now because I have so much more to do, So yeah, vivid memory.
So the British Steel record, one of the great metal records of all time. Making that record, did you know, like when you guys were writing those songs and all that, did you feel that, hey, we really got something this time, or did it feel just like another record to you?
I don't think you ever are fully aware of what you're making. You're feeling good about the songs, aren't you? Oh, we got a great song, and you put it on one side, then you work on another.
But this record is so iconic, I thought maybe, just maybe you were like had a moment where you go, you know what, guys, I think we got one this time.
I tell you what was also special about that, Sammy, because you kind of jog in the old metal memory box, is that was the first time as songwriters at the time, it was myself and Glenn and Ken. And we'd never written as a trio. We'd always written two guys over here or one guy over here would bring stuff. This was the first time we'd actually... So we were in the room, in the studio, together, down, British, breaking the law, like Living After Midnight. Very immediate, that sounds great. We all agreed, got it, move on. Not go through the shore of, I'm not sure about that third bar.
I'm a believer in that.
It was so pure and instant, that all of our songs, it seemed like the whole thing wrote itself because we had maybe a couple of ideas, but the rest of it was just on the back of getting up in the morning, having some breakfast, going in the studio, getting a song down, and then, 30 days later, the whole thing is mixed
is
and
everything.
mastered.
When you're called a band, when you're Judas Priest or you're Van Halen or you're Led Zeppelin, I think the chemistry is everything. When the chemistry goes out the window, the music goes out the window. Even the Beatles. I mean,
absolutely.
Have you ever been a publicity hound? I mean, are you in?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's never. I mean, I love that kind. I love it in the fun side of it. It's it doesn't really have great value apart from a laugh and a bit of lightness and a bit of entertainment. Yeah. We're here to have a good time and keep it simple and give people good memories. And our music will be living a long time after we've gone. And isn't that the most beautiful thing you can imagine?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
That people are going to be listening to our music in 50 to 100, 200 years time, the way we listen to some of the greats from the early rock and roll time.
Right on, Rob.
Thank you, Sammy.
But I do have my one little quirk that I have here in my little, it's in my back pocket. I have a thing where I do with all my artists that I interview. I have a little this or that. Now, you can't think.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
Just little short little things.
I'm the world's worst
and for this,
at this.
I'm going I'm going to roll with you, Rob, on this one.
Okay,
Like,
you're gonna put the
I
shades
went
on.
without my shades because I
Okay.
wanted you to know that I'm true.
Okay.
So now that you know that, just a real quick one. So band or solo?
A band.
If you had it all to do over again, to start over in music, would you rather be a singer still or would you rather be a guitar player?
Singer.
Right on, man. Playing live or making records?
Live.
The Beatles or the Stones?
Ooh. Stones. Rock and roll. And I love the Beatles.
Hey,
man.
listen, no, you don't have to justify
Okay,
nothing here.
Stones.
We both know they're great.
Stones,
That's it.
yeah.
I'm trying to make it tough on you. It's going to get tougher. Clapton or Page?
Page.
AC/DC or Motorhead?
Sammy. Motorhead.
Ooh. Steel or leather?
Is there a word called stilether? Let's make a word up. I gotta say steel because it's British steel, isn't it? And it's steel. And it's
Okay,
metal.
last but not least, so if you had to play for an audience of all men or all women, which would it be?
Women. See? You thought I was
Ladies and
gonna go
gentlemen,
the other way?
Rob Halford in the house right here. The metal monster, the man himself. Wow! Yeah! 16, I got my dream machine. I turned the key and every light turned green. Like Steve McQueen, I made that motor scream and it was loud. Me and the boys that drive around, searching the dial until we found the one song we didn't want to turn down, and it was loud. Here it's coming from a mile away, like rolling thunder on Judgment Day. Yeah. Here it's coming from a mile away, faster than the law allowed. And we were loud, loud like a hurricane, loud like a roaring train. We were loud. Well, you all remember, what's her name? Young and strong, I took my aim. I took control, and when she came, it was loud. Well, it was coming from a mile away. I told her, but we're nearly there. Here it coming from a mile away. I made my daddy proud. She was loud, loud like a hurricane, loud like a dirty dream. She was loud, like a trash can cherry bomb, like a storm before the calm. This was loud. I live my life at full volume. I live my life page to 10. The needle's in the red again. Yeah. I'm in the red again. Here tonight is crystal clear. Red hot lights in a hometown cheer. All my life I've been dreaming of standing around